let's go into this reading here. You've got some very, very good cards. So first of all, we have the Four of Cups as well as the Wheel of Fortune. Now, let's talk about the Four of Cups first as it pertains to relationships and love and interpersonal relationships, because I'm gearing towards that energy, okay? So the Four of Cups is a situation where we are given a lot of options. Like I said, these options are not like the top cream of the crop choices that you're choosing amongst. Otherwise, you would already be jumping on it, right? So it's also denotes to me that this is kind of like dreaming for the undefinable, longing for the undefinable, wanting this one thing. And you've got like you were given these things and you're trying to figure out, how do I make this into this? Okay, so one of the dangers associated with this card is you're sitting there and you're thinking about it, but there's no action. You're ruminating, and you want this ideal thing, but you're not taking the actions in order to get it. And it's so undefinable, and it's so like high up there in the ethers that it might not be realistic. Okay. But either way, like I said, I feel like you're longing for a specific situation to come through, but you're not really doing anything or going out there to get it. Okay. For those of you who are thinking about this in a work environment, I feel like there is a sense of boredom with your job. A lot of you are kind of like bored out of your mind with your job and you want something else. Like I said, I feel like, financially you're in a good space, so you're not complaining, but you feel like, is this it? Is that this like all there is to this work environment? I've learned everything. I'm already, maxed out on the knowledge here. I'm not growing anymore as an individual, as a worker, as an employee in this company. I need something more. I want to expand my mind. I want to expand my imagination. So I feel like you're kind of bored with the job environment and you want to figure out, what else is there to do, okay? It's linked up with the Wheel of Fortune, which basically means whatever you ask for, you're going to get. So, one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of earth signs, specifically like Virgos, you give it your all. You are very perfectionistic at everything that you do. Whatever you do, you make sure it's to the best of your capabilities before you hand it in. And that type of mentality means, giving it your all, even though you might not feel it, even though you might not be completely happy, you might be bored to death, but whatever you do your job really well. And, the universe will reward you accordingly, because I feel like whatever this idea is that you are really trying to pin down, you're going to have an opportunity this month to finalize some plans. You might even be coming across people who might serve as mentors to you in order to like realize this dream, realize this idyllic situation, so that you can at least, capture it and bring it down to earth and start to create it and start to build it. I hope that makes sense. So there is some serendipity at work here with the Wheel of Fortune when it shows up, okay? This is basically things spinning in your favor. Whatever you have been trying to manifest, I do feel this is the month in which you're getting some type of special insights or some type of technical knowledge, some type of, I feel like favorable circumstances are coming through that will allow you or allow this situation to come together. Okay. And I'm going to talk about love in your love spread in a little bit. I feel like this is more career focused. So let's just keep track on this. And I do feel they're saying to you a lot of inspiration coming from foreign people. Okay. And I usually when they say foreign, they mean, foreigners, people from a different cultural background. I do see that's the case, but for others of you, I feel like people from a very, very different background from what you're used to. So for example, different socioeconomic class, different station in life. They had like, I'm sensing a lot of them might come. So let's just say if you have come from an impoverished background, you might deal with people who are, very, very wealthy. And they're bringing in a different worldview, a different point of view, a different perspective for you to reconsider. And as a result, you're going to get some very special insight, some private information that will really help you realize this dream, or at least, be able to pinpoint it down, pinpoint it. And for others of you who are in a very, very wealthy environment where you grew up in a very wealthy household, I feel like you might be dealing with people who are might come from an impoverished background, so they have a different perspective. So those are the messages specifically that I'm hearing, okay? So there's something here about getting a different perspective, getting ideas, great inspiration from people who are from a different station in life than you. The next set of cards deals with your finances. And first of all, we have the Ten of Pentacles as well as the Three of Cups. So let's talk about this situation as a financial situation first. The Ten of Pentacles is a situation that deals with like a very, very happy, solid, stable home environment. There's a lot of like, for some of you, you might be in a home environment where you might have a mortgage and you might be buying a home. You might be celebrating, like getting a home. You might be in a position right now where money is coming through very, very nicely. You're stably employed and you're thinking about getting a home, purchasing a home, or even doing some type of renovation in your home environment. I do see housing situations and especially like housewarming coming through very, very strongly. Okay. For others of you, this is a very, very good card that indicates some type of investment opportunities, putting money in your IRA and putting, like investing in stock, investing in bonds, investing your money somewhere or having somebody manage it for you so that it can grow. What I'm also getting is family dynamics, the household that you live in, the people that you live with. There's going to be some changes, some shifts, some celebrations associated with those around you. So this is a very, very good card that indicates, the apex of the financial security. Okay, so this is the top of the pentacle suit. So it indicates stability all around. And on top of that, you're an earth sign. So I definitely feel a lot of abundance, a lot of joy, a lot of security is happening for you in your home environment and in your work environment, in your financial life as well. So overall, very, very good card. We also have the Three of Cups, and the Three of Cups indicates some type of a reunion, some type of party, some type of a celebration between very, very close-knit people, okay? There are three women in this card, in this deck, as opposed to like, the two women, one man in the Rider-Waite deck. So I definitely feel a lot of celebrations, gatherings, and celebrating somebody's major milestone, possibly housewarming, like I said. There's going to be opportunities to have very, very deep emotional conversations and I sense like coming together with another person that you have, that makes you feel good, that understands you on a very, very innate level. And I do feel it might be like same sex. So if you're a female, it might be another female that you are have a really good relationship with. If you're a man, it might be another man that you have a very good relationship with. This is a card about friendship, socializing, social dating, and all of these things, okay? What's coming through next here is the Princess of Pentacles. So the Princess of Pentacles usually denotes some type of financial news coming through as it pertains to an air sign. So let's look at this situation. So the air signs are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. There's somebody coming in, that might be an air sign, very, very, very fast and swift. This is somebody that travels from far away. They are a little bit aggressive. They're a little bit kind of rough around the edges, diamond in the rough. Very, very intelligent, tends to jump to conclusion, but, not a bad energy. I do feel there's money coming through with this person. There's some financial news. There might be some ideas for income generating projects that you both can do together as a unit. So I definitely feel an air sign that's going to be figuring prominently in your life, okay? For others of you who are dealing with this person as a family, a person in your family, like especially if they're younger than you, I do sense that there's going to be some money dished out for children, okay? If they are going to school, you are going to have to somehow amp up your spending in order to cater to them and in order to accommodate them. So I feel a very, very heavy air sign energy that is surrounding your home environment and also surrounding your work environment. That's going to bring a lot of inspiration for you. They're presenting a point of view that you might not have considered before. So there's going to be a lot of communication back and forth between you and this person. For others of you overall, there might be another earth sign in your environment, someone who is they like to tinker with things, they like to take things apart, they like to learn, they're very, very curious. Could be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, another person that you're dealing with, and there is a rapid communication between you and them. I do see a little bit of distance, a little bit of like a physical estrangement or physical distance between you and them. So if you're dealing with that earth sign, there might be some type of communication, some type of travel that they're going to have to do. And I feel that, you know, once again, you both are kind of like doing your own thing and then coming back together. So I feel like there's distance associated with it, but there's always constant communication back and forth. So you're not worried. You're off doing your own thing. They're off doing their own thing. If this is an earth sign, like I said, they like to tinker with things. They're very innovative. They're always busy. They have like many, many talents. They like to learn new things. And they're just a very, very curious person. They have a very strong systematic mind, but also highly creative. Okay. So both of these energies look very, very good. And I do sense like a lot of, I feel like for a lot of you, if it's an air sign or even an earth sign, there's this sense of like having a very long history together, meaning that, you know, you both have traveled through life and your paths have crossed many, many times. So you weave in and out of each other's lives, but you always come back together. So this is a really beautiful energy. I feel like someone is coming through, giving you a lot of inspiration. But they're like here today, gone tomorrow. But then your paths will always cross in the future, or, you know, it has done that in the past, in the present, and also it will again in the future. So it's somebody quite significant for you. I'm seeing somebody who's very, very like courageous, daring, unorthodox, and possibly, you know, speaks many languages, well-traveled as well. What's coming through as well? We do have the Five of Wands as well as the Two of Cups. Now, the Two of Cups is, this is a very strong soulmate connection. This is the card that indicates to me having affinity with another person, okay? So affinity basically means that you both have the same goals, you both have the same ideals. And when you talk, the other person understands automatically what you mean. So then you don't have to over explain yourself. So that's what affinity means. And this can also indicate like some type of a soul connection as well, where, you know, when the other person talks, you automatically can feel what they're going through. So some people call that sympathy, empathy, but I feel like it's on a soul level. The Two of Cups usually shows up astrologically as like, let's just say, if you're a Virgo sun, the other person might have a Virgo moon. So automatically you understand one another and you spark off one another in a way where you support the other person emotionally. They vice versa will support you emotionally, and you feel really, really good with the other person. Okay. With this combination, so the Two of Cups, you have somebody like this in your midst that gives you a lot of emotional support, that gives you a lot of love, a lot of affection. And I feel like it's somebody that you feel a very strong pull towards, okay? As it relates to the Five of Wands, the Five of Wands indicates conflict. It indicates working at cross purposes with one another. So I feel like you are trying your best to make this situation work out, and you might be different paths. So even though you have that affinity where you understand one another in a very strong level, I do feel that, the way that you do things on a mundane level, on a routine level, or, long-term goals, long-term planning, you might be very, very different. So I feel like you're dealing with someone who has a very creative streak. So especially for those very orthodox Virgos that are watching this, you're dealing with someone who might be an earth sign, but they're very non-conventional. Or you're dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, who is very unorthodox. They like come in like the wind. They rush through your life, and you have a lot in common. There's that, sense of intellectual connection, very, very strong sense of history that you have with one another, but you don't see eye to eye. You don't do things the same way. And you might be working at cross purposes with one another. And overall, I feel like there might be some events that are triggered within this relationship here with this Wheel of Fortune and then the Two of Cups that will allow you to have to like be courageous, be brave, and really assert yourself in a manner where, if something is valuable, if something is dear to you, you're going to have to defend your beliefs. You're going to have to battle it out, and you're going to have to defend your case, okay? Which is not something that's hard for you to do because you're very articulate, but I feel like you might shy away from conflict, and this is the month in which, you know what, you're going to have to explain yourself, and you're going to have to defend your stance and explain to other people why you feel the way that you feel, okay? What's coming through in terms of your advice here? We have the Nine of Wands, which is a card about, that last leg of the struggle. The nine is, almost like at the end, okay? This is kind of like taking a break from a tenuous situation in order to fight another day. So it's basically saying the struggle is not over. You've got one last push. So push yourself just a little bit harder. And I don't like saying that for Virgos because you constantly push yourself. But I feel like don't rest on your laurels. The rest of it's not over just yet. You still have one last leg of the journey left to go, and you need to push through. Okay. So I feel for some of you, there might be some situations where you might have a conflict with another person. There's some type of a ruling, some type of deliberation, and you feel like, oh, I've got this in the bag. But I feel like something is going to be backtracked. You have to revisit that situation again, and then you're going to have, to make your case once more. Okay, so don't rest on your laurels. You're going to be called at the last minute in order to do something. Present your case, and things will work out really, really, really well for you. What I'm also feeling with this card here is this usually shows up when I feel that somebody is thinking about somebody from the past that has been very problematic, usually an ex. So let's just say that, you're trying to make your new relationship work. For example, you're trying to make your new relationship work, and there's like a jealous ex or like a meddlesome ex that likes to stir up trouble. I feel that. And I feel that you're kind of like on the lookout, You're trying to defend your domain, defend the person that you're with. And there's like a person from the past that has a habit of like coming in at inopportune times to mess up your new relationship. So I do sense for a few of you that might be the energy where you're kind of weary about somebody from the past and you're keeping guard so that they're not coming through, okay? So you're kind of taking a little bit of a defensive stance when it comes to that past energy. A lot of you might be dealing with a fire sign, a Leo, Sagittarius, or an Aries. I'm going to go into your love reading in a little bit, but that's the energy that I get usually when I see this card. What's also linked up here is the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords indicates a situation in which you're doing something a little bit sneaky, and I do feel this is your energy. You're doing something that is not outright illegal, because I don't feel you would do that. And what I'm seeing here is the Seven of Swords is a sneaky card. You're kind of like on the lookout for against somebody. So you're doing something in your own interests, but I don't feel it's sneaky in a way where, you're hurting anybody. You're doing something that might be considered, non-traditional. This can be, trying to get away with something, and whatever it is, I feel like it is very minor, because what's coming through as I was saying, sorry, it's surrounded by the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Cups. And the nine's energy indicates to me some type of, I do sense protection. You have two people that are kind of like on the lookout for you so that you can do this. So it seems to me like this is not anything shady, anything that's illegal, that there might have been some type of a consensus established here that yes, procedurally, this might not be the way to go, but they've got your back. It seems like that to me. So I feel like two other people in your life are facilitating a process or something in order to allow you to do something that you feel might not be completely kosher. Okay, so that's what I'm sensing here. It's a actually very interesting layout here. So the Seven of Swords, let's just talk about this. The Seven of Swords indicates, once again, lying, cheating, deception. In this situation, it's kind of like sneaky behavior. Okay, so as I've already explained it, you're doing something a little bit sneaky, a little bit unorthodox, but I do sense that you have people protecting you, watching your back, and making sure you're not caught. Okay, so whatever that means, however that plays out, it could just be doing something and having lookout, having people like covering your tracks. All right, so I do sense you have protection here. As it pertains to like communication and other people overall, be very, very careful about everything that you hear, because I feel like you're naturally very skeptical, so I'm not worried about that. But I do sense that like you might be giving somebody too much of the benefit of the doubt, or you might like not call them out when they are doing something they're not supposed to. So I feel like, don't try to smooth things over. Have that conversation. Really try to defend yourself. Don't shy away from conflict. If someone's doing something to you and they feel like they've gotten away with it, that's what I'm sensing. They've gotten away with it. And you're just like, no, I know exactly what you're doing, but I'm trying to maintain the peace, so I'm not trying to cause a storm. I feel that it is really important to call them out on it, okay, so that they feel like they've gotten away with it. So just be careful about that. We also have here the Nine of Cups as well. The Nine of Cups is a wish card. This is a really, really good card that indicates emotional satisfaction and emotional stability as well, okay? So I feel like for some of you, there is a situation that you're going to be very triumphant over. You're going to achieve something of your heart's desire. So if we started out here with the Four of Cups, which basically means like longing for a situation to come to fruition. And I feel by the end of the month, it is going to come to fruition because you've spent the whole month working very hard at it and strategizing, planning, and figuring out what's the most efficient way for me to get from point A to point B in the shortest amount of time and, in the most fruitful manner. So I definitely see some long cherished wish for this month coming through. That's going to provide a lot of satisfaction for you, okay? I do feel big parties, like a big congratulation, a big monumental, like